Hey, Vortex here, and welcome to my review of the TRN TA1 Max. I actually reviewed, it's been over 12 months, but I reviewed the original TA1, which looks similar apart from the back plate. And yet these have a, you can see there, one Knowles balance armature and one, I think it's a 10mm dynamic driver. And yet, as usual, full disclaimer is this sample was sent out to me from Knowles, so thank you very much, I appreciate it. I was not paid to do this video, and all thoughts opinions are my own. And yeah, so these are priced quite competitively considering they have a Knowles armature. I think to use is a beryllium coated DD, so yeah, let's just get into it. So you can see it states there, one Knowles BA, one DD hybrid. So it's only two drivers, so it's not too complicated. Nothing really there, nothing really there. The product may be upgraded. Mine's the no mic, which obviously I prefer. Some information there from the company. And yeah, let's have a look. So it slides from the front. I've been using this as well. It's a quite slight spoiler. That's why it's empty up here. But anyway, this is what I look like. These are actually very small in reality. So that kind of crazy kind of X on the back, 2-pin, which is great. I thought they originally was MMCX, but obviously they're not. Obviously all metal construction, it says TA1 Max. There, you can just about see it. And it says TRN, it even says on the L, the other one says R. And yeah, build quality is very good, it is metal. Again, they look not smaller than you'd expect. So that's it there. Underneath here, there. So comes with adapter, which is kind of cool. So 1/2 inch or 6.3mm adapter. In here is small, medium and large tips. And here is small and large tips. So you get two pairs. Like you've obviously got like the white ones fitted, and these are more like a black one. Similar like you saw in the BAX review, which I did before this. Also nice, you get a carry case. In there's just some of the normal kind of TRN documentation. Obviously metal. If I can open it, that's it. So yeah, so kind of on the thin side. That's it. So you can see this one is the left one. Yep. Right angle connector, which is what I prefer. Cable's kind of average, so we say. And there's another one there. I think it would have been better if they could colour code actual connectors. Because from there they look exactly the same, unless you can actually see the actual, which is left or right. This one is right. Kind of hard to see. I would see the blue or red kind of markings, but there's nothing really there. So yeah, so I won't go into too much now. Obviously I've been using these, and yeah, we just get into the review. So yeah, so finally on to the review part of the TRN TA1 Max. Obviously, it's easy to be distinguished from other models because of the X on the back. And these are, let's just get into the build quality. They are built very, very well. They're also very, very small. On the images, they always look bigger, but in real life, I have small fingers and it is very small. So yeah, build quality is good. Yeah, so let's get on to comfort. Now these are actually small because they're smaller than I expected. They took a little bit of adjusting for me to get the kind of good fit. Maybe the same for you, might not. I didn't have any real issues, just took a little bit of tweaking just to get the right fit. And that's it. So let's go into just the aesthetics really. So 2-pin, which is better than the original, which was MMCX. I'm glad they went with the 2-pin, obviously, because 2-pin's always better. It's the same connector type as KZ, so it's the same kind of cables and all that. Obviously, it says there TRN L, and this one should say the model. So yeah, TA1 TA1 Max and R. Apart from that, they are obviously the same kind of thing. Let's take this off. Tips are unsecure. Little lip there, but yeah, build quality is very good. I'm quite happy with them. So let's talk about powering them and sensitivity. I didn't have any real issues powering them, but the sound quality was better if you can pair it with something that's very clean. It hasn't got to be powerful, just a clean source helps. Obviously you can use a phone, but I don't know, mate, some phones probably won't do these justice, from my opinion. Yeah, and the driver count is a single dynamic driver, and he uses a Knowles balance armature. It's tuned again better than the original, but I'll talk about that later on. So let's talk about stage and imaging. I found both as actually quite good, to be honest. Again, I think it helps that they've used decent drivers, but yeah, I was happy with either. They're not massive stage. It seems a bit bigger with the yeah, it's like kind of open back. I don't know how that really matters for some, like on a BA that's sealed from the back. It just sounds big enough, so I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, let's talk about natural tonality, shall we? So it does actually sound fairly natural, which is quite an accomplishment when you use a balanced armature, but I was quite happy with how it sounds. Again, like I've said many times, you can't beat the natural sound of dynamic drivers normally, but I'm very happy with this. I'm also not sure where the armature is located, whether it's further in the shell or in the nozzle. I don't know, but it sounds fine anyway. There's no really weird peaks that sometimes when the BA is in the nozzle, it can sound kind of weird. Or shouty as people call it, but it doesn't have that. So yeah, just going to the sound. So I'm going to overlay the graph now, along with the original TA1, because I've still got it. And yeah, so notably different. Now obviously I haven't tried any of the other TA models. I've only tried the original TA1, which had an MMCX, and obviously this new Max variant. Both similar setups with a dynamic driver and a balanced armature. And yeah, so sound is bassier than the original. Like, it doesn't roll off like the original. I like the bass. It's exciting bass. They're not bass head level, but I like the level that you get. And the dynamic driver they've used as well for the lows seems quite competent. Not much to say really. It does the job, and it does the job very well. As you can see on the graph, I've compared them both. Obviously, like I've said a few times, mine seems to roll off more in the sub bass than reality, so just bear that in mind. But yeah, I've no issues with the low end. It's pretty solid really. Mids, there's a bit of a bleed at the bottom. I like that because it stops sounding thin. I've said this many times. Mids on this seem it's nearly V-shaped, shall we say. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. Now, the upper part, the original was a bit more shouty. I prefer the original. Now, it depends on certain tracks and who you use as your basic, like for your genre or who you listen to. But this one is a little bit smoother there, and I like that. It's obviously still forward. These are not, the vocals aren't pushed back, but I do prefer the slightly smoother vocal range, the singers that I've tried anyway. But yeah, it is better. And yeah, mids are pretty solid. A little bit scooped, but not too bad, not too bad at all. Again, these are not really expensive earphones, so you have to bear that in mind. And then when you've got two drivers, so it's not too bad at all. So treble is a little smoother than I expected. Again, I prefer this over the original. So as you can see, it's smoother where it should be, and it's a little bit more, it has less roll off than the original. So it has more treble where you want it, and it has smoother treble where you want it. It's probably the best way to describe it. But yeah, instrument separation as well, or anything that happens in the treble and the mids for details was solid. Obviously I've heard better, but a lot kind of higher price range. But yeah, I had no issues with the treble really. Obviously the 8K peaks are the coupler what I measure with, so but it's fine. But yeah, I do prefer it smoother than the original, and has a little bit more treble where you want it, so it gives it some more air, as people say. But yeah, everything sounds, it sounded a little bit more better than I expected, because some TRN models are kind of crappy. But it's good to see like they've done a good job of this. Same as the BAX version, which is obviously more expensive than this. It's good to see them going the right path. I've also released a planar model, which is quite ambitious. Hopefully I'll get to try that. But yet the treble region is, I'm more than happy with what they've done. It's kind of a good balance, so you get what you want without being aggressively done or without sounding dark. But yeah, kind of a pleasant surprise really. So my conclusion is, do I recommend these? Yes. Apart from one thing I just didn't mention is between each channel. If you check the graph tool, you'll see this. There's a slight discrepancy in the treble. Now I remeasured it a few times and it was still the same. I rebooted my PC, still the same. Now I checked someone else who measured this, which is Ian Fan, and his has done exactly the same. So they're not matched. The drivers aren't matched perfectly. But when you're using these obviously in stereo 2 at a time, you know, both these, you don't really notice that. So bear that in mind. But do I recommend these? Apart from that, yes. TRN have actually done a good job. They've used quality drivers. Again, one's a Knowles. I don't know the model name. It'd be obviously in the store listing so you can check it. But yeah, overall they've done a good job. It's good they've gone to 2-pin as well. Good build quality. The fit may be a little bit of an issue because it's actually smaller than you'd the size is smaller than you would expect. But yeah, I'm very happy with what they've done. It's a good job. Overall seems to perform well with all the genres. Helps if you can pair it properly. Not a lot of power, just clean, just low output impedance obviously would help as well. But yeah, it does everything well, really. Doesn't excel in everything. It just does a very good job for its price point. Better than the original. Probably good for its actual sheer price range it's in. So yeah, they've done a good job. Now I'm curious of the planar one, because planar is kind of funky with the tuning. But yeah, we'll get to that if I get one. So yeah, if you want to know anything particular, let me know in the comments as per usual. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.